Patrick, you are live.
Welcome everybody to yet another dive here at Grand Cayman. I think we have two squid mating right now, so let's have a watch of this while I do the introductions. So I am Pat, and I am your underwater biologist today. On camera we have Brianne, and on the surface we have Lauren. Now I do apologise about the delays, and because of the delays we are also going to have a bit of a shorter dive, as I am only on 130 bar. So it will be a bit shorter, but that doesn't mean that it won't be sweet.
Oh, look at these squid!
Sorry, Lauren, you go.
Look at these squid. They're getting ready to mate.
It does look like it. So we have been hanging around in this shallow bit, just watching everything while we're waiting to go live. And there has been a lot of mating action. So there's been parrotfish mating. Oh, there was just parrotfish mating just then. And these squid have been hanging around in pairs as well. So there is a lot happening right here, right now. And if you have any questions about anything that's going on down here, please let us know using the hashtag diveLIVE if you're on Twitter.
Yeah, so hi everyone, what an exciting start. I saw everything which was happening while we were waiting to go live, so the reef is pumping today. So please do send in your questions. Make sure to use that hashtag diveLIVE as Pat mentioned on Twitter, and we will try and answer them. But for now, Pat, let's introduce these squids.
Yeah, so we are joined down here by the rock stars of the ocean. So these squid, I call them that because they have a live fast, die young type of lifestyle. So they have a very short lifespan, but the males will mate with a lot of females in this time and leave behind a lot of unaccounted for children. So they really are like rock stars. So they are color-changing animals, and the squid is very unique because it can actually change the colour. It doesn't just lighten and darken, it can literally change the whole colour of its body, and this is by using chromatophores. And what chromatophores are cells that in the squid are surrounded by muscle fibres. If the squid expands or contracts these muscle fibres, the pigment sitting inside of it will be orientated differently and reflect light in different matter. Now underneath there are two other pigment containing cells called lucifores and iridiophores, and both of these cells make the colour change even more dramatic and allows it to access this wide range of colours. Now, Lauren, would you like to tell everyone why we are seeing these squid in so close?
Yes, I would. So throughout the different stages of the squid's life, they take on different habitats. So normally you will find them in big groups like this, hovering above the reef in between about 1 to 8 meters. That would be about 3 foot to 24, 25 feet. And that is because they are all coming together at the same stage of their life to signal to each other that they're ready to mate. But when they are very small hatchlings, they're tiny, maybe not even too visible to the naked eye, they actually reside in the vegetation very close to shore, normally about 1 meter depth maximum, again 3 foot. When they get a bit bigger, they will congregate in shallow seagrass beds. So they don't want to be too shallow because they could get swooped up by the birds, and they don't want to be too deep either. You need to avoid all predators. Then when they're adults, they venture out into the deep and can actually be found up to 100 meters. So what we're seeing now is them all congregating together to signal to each other, hey, I'm ready to mate. What about you?
It's just a lot of mating happening over these last couple of days, so there must be a little bit of love in the air because we are seeing so many animal interactions down here, which is great. I think it's awesome to not only see the animal but also see how it behaves.
Yeah, so they do actually have different signals for different communications. I guess they're very social animals, and they communicate through a huge variety of really complex signals using colour, as Pat mentioned. So they will signal readiness to mate, sexual identification, which one's boy, which one's girl. Alarm, they will also flash an alarm to warn each other a predator is nearby.
That is not only their defense mechanism, they also have ink. So they have these ink sacs that connect to the siphon, and if something is coming to attack them, they can burst out a jet of ink, just like if I was at the camera, it would completely cover the lens, and you wouldn't be able to see what was happening because the ink is jet black.
Yes, and this is made from melanin, which is a material that is also in our bodies as well. And the different cephalopods, so for example, squid, octopus and cuttlefish actually produce slightly different versions of this ink. Squids will be a little bit more... Oh, I think they're definitely getting ready to mate in some respect here. So yeah, squids will be slightly more brown, and an octopus will be much more darker, almost black in colour. And the ink does have a purpose, so it contains a chemical called tyrosinase, and this is also found in humans, and it naturally controls the production of melanin. So when a squid or octopus uses it, it causes irritation, almost to blindness of the eyes. Now this is just temporary, but the predator will not be able to see. It also completely garbles with the predator's smell and taste. So not only can't they see the octopus or squid anymore, they cannot smell it. So it's able to disappear. And if an octopus in particular actually stays around and doesn't leave its own ink squirt, then it can actually die. And Pat, I believe we have something very exciting ahead.
Yeah, so we do have another unidentified species of hamlet. So have you got the book there, Lauren?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the same species we were talking about earlier, but let me just confirm. Yes, indeed. This is the butter hamlet.
Beautiful. So hamlets are quite a strange grouping of fish. They can hybridize, so they come in a lot of different forms, and all of their body plans are generally the same. What separates species is the coloration of them, and it's almost like a collector's item in a way, finding all the different types of hamlets.
Yes, and they are hermaphrodites in a little bit of a different way from the normal hermaphrodites we mentioned. These ones are synchronous hermaphrodites. So Pat, you can explain this one.
Sorry?
The hamlet's being synchronous hermaphrodites.
Yeah, so this means that they contain both female and male reproductive traits, but when they do mate with another, one will take the female role and one will take the male role. So one will release sperm and the other one will release eggs. But in their normal state, they are both male and female.
Yeah, it's just amazing to think that that even possibly exists, and it is quite common in the reef, and it is found especially in the hamlet family. Now hamlets are becoming a quick favourite of mine, and I didn't even get the chance to put my requests in. So I would like to see an octopus, Pat, a turtle.
Oh, the other cephalopod. I would also love an octopus, so I will be looking in all the tight little holes around here.
And if you do come across any brittle stars, let's have a look at them.
Yes, I will. I will keep that eyes peeled for you. And now I was hoping to find squid this time, but that has already been achieved. So the plan now is to head out to where we call the stingray car wash. So we went out there the other day and we saw 3 different stingrays, 2 of which pulled up at the same cleaning station and sat there to get clean. So we're going to make our way out over the reef and head out to that station and see if there's any stingrays about. But of course, while we're heading towards there, we'll also be on the lookout for any other cool stuff like Lauren's brittle stars or her octopus.
Would be really awesome. Just for clarification, yes, Heidi and Lady Starfire, this was a butter hamlet, so B-U-T-T-E-R. And Craig was asking why it's called a butter hamlet, and honestly, I have no idea. I think it's probably the golden color of the skin that looks like melted butter.
So, lately we've been hanging around a bit shallower, and this seems to be lately where all that action has been happening, all the spawning and everything like that. But, let's still go out a little deeper, see what we can see.
Of the reef. What depth are you actually at, Pat?
The yellow ones are the grunts, the ones with the red tail are snappers. And there is also a couple of goatfish, and over this side, I know you can't see, oh yes, well, over where I am now, we also have schoolmasters with the yellow tails.
So what depth are you at, Pat?
I am at 7 meters, so that is 8 feet, 20 feet down, 25 maybe.
Well, the visibility looks really good today.
Yeah, the visibility is awesome. So I would say about 25 meters. That's about 80 feet of visibility we're getting right now.
So we did have a question, let me find it, about the possibility of squid being able to create hybrids.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't think that would be possible, but we have actually recently heard here on Grand Cayman, it's yet to be genetically confirmed, that there has been a turtle nest found and the hatchlings appear to be a hybrid of the loggerhead and the hawksbill. So this is very interesting news, so we're eagerly awaiting the results for that. So maybe more animals can produce hybrids than we actually realize.
Yeah, it's actually a really fascinating subject in science, is hybridization. So we know the typical stories like a horse and a donkey producing a mule, which is infertile offspring, which means that the mule itself can't reproduce. But under the water there is a whole array of animals that can hybridize, and I believe some can even produce fertile offspring. I know with mussels that is definitely the case.
Yeah, it's a really interesting hot topic right now, and I'm enjoying researching it. Lady Starfire is in the mood for a shark. Well, I do have news that we saw a huge nurse shark on the first dive today, and it was a really good close encounter. So you never know, maybe it's still hanging around.
Yeah, and I was just speaking to Lauren, one of the Don Foster's dive instructors, but she was coming out of the water as I was getting in, and she also said that they saw the nurse shark and a turtle. So we hope that they are still hanging about.
Yeah, it's been too long without a turtle.
Yeah, it has. So Lauren just found out that when I was saying goodbye on yesterday's dive, that Gretchen was actually sitting right behind me while I was signing off and saying goodbye to everyone. Fingers crossed this time Gretchen decides to come before I say goodbye.
Yeah, some eagle-eyed viewers actually spotted it and I did not, so that always happens to us. The minute we end the broadcast we see something really exciting.
Yeah, turtles. Oh, we got a very different size pair of angelfish right here, French angelfish. One is huge and one is tiny.
I think we can see them. Yep, we can see one angelfish at least up ahead. Oh yeah, we can see them both, and one definitely is a lot bigger.
Yeah, so the smaller one is about the size of a tea plate, and the bigger one is about the size of a dinner plate.
Oh yeah, how cute. So the French angelfish are a regular common sighting on our dives, but we never get bored of them.
Yeah, they're beautiful fish. I just love the real elegance of their design, the way that those anal and dorsal fins are extended right back to where the tail goes, and the disc-shaped body, and just their graceful swimming.
Yeah, so even although they do appear to be completely different sizes, they do both look like adults, and we know this from the coloration. Angelfish are polychromatic, which means they have different color phases throughout their life, and the juveniles and even the intermediates look completely different. And actually we can really see this one's lateral line, Pat.
Oh, that's good.
Like, you really visibly see that.
Sweet. So the lateral line is something that's often difficult to show because sometimes they're very well blended in. In other species they're more prominent though, but what we're referring to, the lateral line, is that line running from the tail, or the caudal fin, all the way to the back of the operculum, or the gill covering. And what this lateral line does is it senses changes in the water from movement, so it's like an extrasensory organ. It does this through little pores all along the line that have little hairs embedded in them. That's what picks up the changes.
Yeah, that's correct. So all fish do have this lateral line, even sharks, and they heavily rely on this. So this gives them an additional sense to what we have. And this is because of their environment. Water is a completely different environment to the air and the land that we live on. Sound and light travels completely different, so these animals have adapted an extra sense to help them survive the oceans.
Oh, we got some black durgans mating. Just here we are.
I want to see it.
So they were circling each other, rising up in the water, and now they're coming back down. Hopefully they didn't already spawn.
So I think everything is mating today.
Yeah, I've seen so much mating action today.
So Pat, while we're just having a look for this, I have a question from Lady Starfire. What is the average lifespan of the French angelfish?
French angelfish, is it 10 years? I believe 10 years, or is it 20 or 30?
I think it's around 25. It's got quite a long lifespan, longer than you would think for a reef fish.
So, these black durgans, they must have already finished their spawning, so that's why they were up circling each other. So unfortunately we didn't get to see it, but the rate that it's happening at, I'm hoping that we'll get to see it happen again within other species.
So can you explain what you mean by spawning, Pat?
Yeah, so spawning is when two animals of the same species want to produce offspring. And so underwater with fish are generally broadcast spawners, which means that they will just spray out their sperm and eggs and they will fertilise in the water. And before they do this, there is generally some sort of ritual or dance that they will do together, and it's generally higher up in the water as well, so the current will get sperm and eggs and disperse them. So the whole process of the courting ritual and then the release of gametes is called mating.
Yes, and it's been happening all around Pat today. Everywhere he looks, there seems to be some fish spawning. So this is great news, and we are going to investigate a little bit further, as we do believe it could be a seasonal thing, but we don't have that information at hand right now. So Pat and I are also playing a game. We are trying to identify new species of fish each dive to add to our ever-growing list. So I'm sure Pat's on the lookout. But if you do have any questions about anything we've seen today that's relevant, please do send them in.
I've come out a little bit deeper now. We're starting to reach the sandy patch area. And I am at 15 metres, or about 50 feet. Now I'm going to have to get a bit of a wriggle on because my air is going down, because I did start with a little bit less air than usual.
So what air do you have now, Pat?
So I'm on 90 bar.
That's not a problem. You still have 40 bar left to enjoy with us. So it's always worth just having a look in the sandy patch there. We've done a few shallow dives now, so it's always worth having a look in the sandy patch to see if there's any life down there. We try to give you a variety of habitats during our dives so that you can experience the whole range of what is out there.
Oh, here we go. So these two black dragons here, you can see one's chasing the other. They were twitching their bodies, and now they're coming up into the water. So I think we're about to see them spawn.
Oh, I think they're just coming into focus a little bit.
See, their movements are very synchronized.
Yeah, they seem to be swimming really fast.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just follow them for a few minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is obviously a pair of black durgans, and that's durgan with a D. And these are part of the triggerfish family. They are triggerfish.
And we can see that from their body plan. They have a flat kind of oval shaped body, and then very prominent anal and dorsal fins that we can see violently undulating right now. You can't see it from here, but they do have a little spine on their head, or a trigger that they will erect. So this male, I'm assuming, is the one that's lagging behind, trying to get the attention of the female, but I think one of them has lost interest.
So a bit like humans there, the male chasing the females in order to spawn. And normally these fish are quite adamant. They will not give up until they can find a female to spawn with.
Here we go. Oh, they're starting to rub on one another.
Listen to us eagerly waiting.
They might be a little bit embarrassed that we're watching.
Well, while we're watching, Liz has asked, is that why the water is so cloudy? Because all the fish are spawning.
Well, yeah, so quite a lot of plankton is made up of either sperm, eggs, fertilized eggs, or larvae. So yes, there is probably a lot of that floating around. It wouldn't be all of it, but it definitely would be contributing.
Do you think we're going to get to see it, Pat?
Well, it's hard to say. They have retreated back down now, but I think maybe when they were rubbing up on one another recently, that could have been when the gametes were released, because it was immediately after that that they settled back down.
And interestingly enough, from our position, they do look completely black, but they're actually not. On their face, they do have a sort of orange, rusty color facial pattern. So they're not completely black as they look right now. And this one we're looking at does have its trigger up. There you go. You can see it's put its trigger up, which is actually made up of 3 individual spines. The main spine, and then one for holding it in place when it's erect, and one that when pushed down will unlock the spine and it can rest against its head again.
So when one of them erected its spine, the other one did as well. So maybe that was a signal of some sort. They are coming up a bit higher again.
Heidi's actually commented that it looks like they have wings, and it does. This top dorsal fin and the bottom anal fin, the movement does look like it is flying. And they do tend to swim on their sides a lot. Oh, there we go. That was an excretion. A little poop from the black durgan here. But yeah, when they swim on their sides, which seems to be a unique trait of the triggerfish family, it does look like they have wings.
Okay, so they have separated now. So either they already spawned, or the female wasn't interested. Now, because I am a little low on air, I don't think I'm going to risk going out all the way up there and then running out of air by the time we get there. So let's head back the way we came towards the shallows, because there was quite a lot of action there anyway.
There was. I do love the shallows, and you've still got to find that fish for me, Pat.
Yes. Right, definitely.
So Take Care was asking, where are these fish going? So the black durgans, we were watching them quite intently because we believed that they were chasing one another to spawn. So there probably wasn't an aim of a location or where they're going. They were just chasing one another. So I believe it was purely random.
There's another pair of black durgans up doing the exact same thing we were seeing before, chasing each other around very quickly, but this one's a bit further away.
So it must be that then, it must be some sort of spawning season.
Right now.
So with the parrotfish, they are actually said to spawn daily, and it can happen at the same time each day in the localized area. So not throughout the world, but in the local areas, it can be the same time each day that they will spawn. So maybe for the triggerfish, it's a similar thing.
As I'm coming through, I am checking under all these ledges, hoping that an elusive octopus might stick its tentacles out and say hello.
Imagine how exciting that would be. We're getting better at checking inside all the cracks and crevices for you. The diversity down here is just phenomenal. It's just not always possible for us to find these things. But I do think our fish identification and knowledge has improved dramatically, and thanks to the Zoom, we are able to show you a whole range of things we weren't able to show you before.
Oh wow. So I do apologise everyone, but I have unfortunately hit 50 bars. So I do again apologise for the short time. It was because I didn't have much air when we started the broadcast because of some delays. But thank you all for joining me anyway. It was a very cool dive, a short, sharp and shiny dive. A bit disappointed we couldn't show you some more of the mating that was going on the reefs, but it was still exciting all the same. So we will be back tomorrow, 7 AM and 11 AM Grand Cayman time. Thank you, Lauren, for always having my back on the surface. Thank you, Rian, for being the best cameraman. And thank you all for joining me on these dives. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Pat. I did just scan the background and there's no turtle, so we're all good today. But thank you, diveLIVE family, and we will see you tomorrow at 7 AM Grand Cayman time.